It is what it is.
Okay. I thought it was too coincidental.
I know, you were so right.
So now we're still on track. Okay. Check for that. Julie, do you need help with the water rate? Okay, cold? It's that time of year where it gets hot. Born, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. I gotta get my screen sport coats out. That looks good. I like the color. Yes. Makes sense. Easier. Yeah. So I have 7 o'clock. You're ready to roll me down there. You guys are ready on this side? Good evening and welcome to the May 1st meeting of the Glenville Town Board. Please rise for the invocation and pledge allegiance. Tonight for invocation, I just ask that you offer your own intentions in silence. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Councilman Radical? Please note for the record, Councilman Glenville is absent. Councilman Aragosa?
Here.
Councilman Kirkland?
Here.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Here, the agendas are up front for anyone in the room that's interested. There are no changes to the agenda. We will have a presentation from the Glenville Hill Firehouse on our agenda. You see item number 9, so we will do that when we get to that item. But there are no changes on the agenda, so I'll start with town council reports, and I'll start on my left with Councilman Aragosa.
The GECC did meet on Monday the 16th. My days are all, Monday the 23rd. It was the third Monday of April. Some discussion, more discussion about the solar amendments and that sort of thing. But pretty much that was the main gist of the meeting. Not a lot to share that. And that is all.
Thank you. Councilman Kirkland.
No report.
Councilman Ramshaw.
I know it's a little late, but I want to thank everyone involved with the bulk pickup. I think that was very successful, and I'm glad we're able to have it again. And just want to thank Vicki for always setting up the required training that the town goes through. That's a lot of work. So thank you, Vicki, for doing that. Yes, thank you.
Did you guys attend that one? The first one?
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. All right.
Tomorrow.
Okay, so doing our 2-time council reports. We'll start with privilege of the floor. I'm going to open privilege of the floor. There's nobody signed up for privilege of the floor. Anyone wish to be heard on privilege of the floor, please raise your hand and we'll invite you to the podium to address the board. Privilege of the floor is now open, going once, going twice. Seeing none, privilege of the floor is now closed. Next item on the agenda is the Glenville Fire Department presentation. I'd like to call the representative up for the presentation at the podium.
Glenville Hills.
Go.
Hill, sorry.
I've been around a while, Bob.
I thought it was Glenville Hills, Craig.
How many hills are in Glenville?
Glenville Hill?
That's
Glenville
what
Hill?
I said.
It's
I'm being
hills.
called out on it.
All
So
right.
you guys have always been good to me. I'm never going to mess your name. I can tell you that. One hill.
Seems like one big house.
Yeah, one hill.
There's a bunch of hills.
They only protect one hill.
All right, Chris.
Trying to set this up so everyone can see it. We actually have a copy. Okay, great.
Mr. Supervisor and council members, thanks for having us. My name is Matt Naparell. I'm a site engineer and been retained by Glenville Hill Fire District Number 8. With me tonight, you might know all these players. We have Fire Chief Myers, Assistant Chief Manaki, and District Commissioner Dirk Francis. So the project that we have here for Glenville Hill Fire District Number 8 is to enhance their ability to provide service within their district bounds and beyond as mutual aid assistance throughout the township. The existing operation and the existing firehouse located at the northeast corner of Church and Ridge Road is about a 4,300 square foot building. It does have 3 apparatus bays, of which there are 3 big pieces of equipment, engines and tanker, and then 3 other small pieces of equipment, so a total of 6 pieces of equipment. And if you ever visited that station and you see what's happening in that station, literally they can barely close the doors. The bumper of that engine is sitting at the overhead door. There is safety requirements that we like to employ here, especially this is a volunteer house in which as the bell whistles and the responders are going to assist, there's a lot of excitement going on in that barn, and there's a lot of guys rushing around to be able to render aid to that call. And when people are moving in a high rate of speed without proper spacing and distance, that's where safety is of a concern. So as such, the district, I think, and Chief, you can probably help me out, it's been 5-6 years you've been trying to get a new project out here, trying to enhance their ability to serve the community. As of January of this year, the public has passed a referendum for an enhancement to that property and to the service of the area. And I'll start flipping my pages here so we can kind of talk about the project. So the project is to construct, and we call this a new apparatus or a new apparatus bay with firematic services within, and that's shown up here as this hand area. It's an addition of about 6,300 square feet. It'll include what we call double deep bays. So there's 3 double deep bays. Those bays will have access coming off of the Ridge Road, off of this new apron. Those full double deep bays have the ability, so now those pieces of equipment that are literally sitting at overhead doors will have proper clearances, not only from bumper to tail bumper to the next piece of equipment, but also from door to door. And when they open the doors, they still have room to be able to actively get into those pieces of equipment and be able to respond properly to the call. The other thing is the process of which this happens at the firehouse is, as that responder in a volunteer house comes in, we want to get them into what's called their turnout gear, their fire gear. We want to get them into their gear, load onto that gear, and be able to process through onto the truck. And at the same time, that gear has potential contaminants going in and out of different events that they are dealing with. And there certainly is gear washers and the ability to clean that gear and decon room, all of which now will be contained in this new facility that's being constructed. So as such, this modern apparatus firematic facility provides that service that Chief and his crews here out of District House 8 can properly serve the community. So what's going to happen on the existing firehouse is that's going to be utilized. Part of the budget includes renovation of that space to include proper offices for Chief and his assistant chiefs. It includes proper offices for the district. It includes proper training facilities. And what everyone needs to realize in this day and age, those volunteers go through a rigorous amount of training. For every activity that they are certified to perform is hours and hours of training. And you need to have proper training space for them to do that. And so now by shifting out and leaving some of that space, that training can occur in a proper environment that is a clean environment that is separated from the firematic spaces. So, Chief, how do I do? Okay, so I always refer to these guys because they're living this day in, day out. You know, I've been on a consultant team to do firehouses, and I really enjoy this side of my work. I'm a private sector site development, right to build engineer. But whenever I do a fire station job, these guys, they're salt of the earth guys, right? They're here and they're answering the bell, and it gives me a lot of pride to say I can help them out with my expertise as well. So in a site design sense, that's what we're doing here, to provide these guys with the ability to provide services to the community and as well provide the training, and part of the training and also a proper place in which they can recruit and retain the volunteers that Chief leads the way, but of which those volunteers are providing the service to our community. And If you don't have proper facilities, then guys might get tired of coming in on a daily to weekly basis to do that. So it's important to have these proper facilities. We do have some architectural renderings of this program. And I'm not an architect. I propose myself as a blockhead engineer. But over the course of time, I have learned. This will have I call it almost like a wainscoting, or the architects would call that a water table, of which it'll be cultured split face block. The upper pieces, the exterior will be a board on back type of treatment, but behind that is still CMU wall, because these new facilities have to meet what's called a nationwide essential facility code. And so when you say, what does that really mean? My words to that is, when all else fails and the world is having a lot of trouble, we want this barn to stay up. Hurricanes, earthquakes, flooding events, all of these criteria, we want these guys to be able to operate to help the community. So essential facility code includes enhancements to earthquake loading, enhancements to wind and snow loads, enhancements, and making sure we're out of floodplains. Beyond that, the HVAC systems and everything is enhancement, because this is the building we need to operate when all other things are going bad. Forced nature events is what I call it. So the other enhancement here is part of that budget will mirror and complement the old building. Will have facade treatment, so it'll, and my architects didn't render that stuff up yet, but we will have a complementary sitting down that corner, so it'll all mesh and look like it belongs. It's sitting out here in the field. I do have a rear elevation here that might. If you guys know, engineers and architects tend not to get along, so I'm glad they're not here, so they don't go on me. But that's kind of like the backside. We are proposing a rear access door for one drive-through bay. We call that a drive-through bay, so that they can get access to it. And if we look at how that site works, you can kind of see coming off the existing driveway how they can get in that way. That's my presentation. Myself, Commissioner, and the Chiefs are here to answer questions of the board, but we appreciate your time tonight and understand you have a job to do as well, and that's why we're here.
We appreciate your time, and I want to tell you, I'm thankful that you're saving the original building. It's historic of sorts in the town, as it was used for a civil patrol lookout after World War II, which is very interesting. I don't know how many people thought the Russians were going to bomb Glenville back then, but we did have a Civil Air Patrol use that building and watch for it. And our historian uncovered a bunch of great stories about folks going up there and just like watching. And so it's a little piece of history. I'm glad that's gonna live on. Any questions from the board? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is supervisor's report to the board. And we're going to fix this. So, fine. So just some quick updates as to what's going on around town. There's a lot going on around town. But I want to start with the highlight of the week. I had the opportunity to meet Simon Raphael, who was the person who wrote the song Tribute to the Bridge here in Glenville, and we had a chance to have him perform the song under the bridge. He's a great kid, very talented, very clever and smart with his lyrics, and just had a great opportunity to meet him and listen to the song under the bridge. And it was great because there's finally a positive story about the bridge. It was a nice story, and so I just wanted to call him out, and maybe we'll have him come and perform the song here at some board meeting. He's sang it so many times, it's gonna be like his one-hit wonder right now, but we'll keep him singing. In the police department, a lot going on in the police department. The chief and I are continuing to work with Bus Patrol, which is a camera monitoring company that will be installing cameras in every Scotia Glenville school bus. This technology will be utilized to monitor vehicles that pass school buses. Right now, you cannot just write a ticket. The officer would have to witness the actual violation. This is a new law we passed last year, I think you all remember, that would allow us to cite a town code of passing by use of camera monitoring. This is so popular now that Chief and I are talking to Sheriff Cirillo in Saratoga County and looking to bring it into the Burnt Hills district as well. Niskayuna is already using it, so if we get these two up and going, all three of our major schools will be using the technology very shortly. So we're continuing to work on that. The body-worn camera program, we are working with the officers, and we've actually instituted that February 1st. It's been working very well. There's been some learning curves, but really we're getting rave reviews from the officers that these are become an asset to the department. It's an asset to the officer as much as it's an asset to the community, so that if there's any frivolous complaints or whatever, we're able to clear those up pretty quickly. So it protects the officer as much as anyone else. And so it's been received well, and it's been working well. Deputy Supervisor Kirkham and I and Tom Capola have been trying to get the short-term address to the locker room issue, the locker equity issue, and some evidence room issues so that we can get the police department finally certified the way they want to be certified. And so that's moving forward thanks to Tom and Bob. And I want to thank you for all your work on that. We're trying to accomplish that goal with spending as least as possible on a building that probably won't be here 2 or 3 years from now. So we're going to just try to get that done, provide those solutions to the short-term problems, and then move on to the long-term issue of getting the new building up and going, which I think I reported last time, I believe, the DASNY grant, $1.5 million finally came through. So that's going to help with the financing of the new facility greatly and give us a little boost. And so we're excited about that. Vicki and I were just talking about all the things going on in the parks. We've been very busy in the parks. We're dying to get that 18th hole done of the disc golf course we have in Indian Meadows. A lot of people seem to be playing the sport now. I'm still trying to master golf, let alone disc golf. I can't throw a frisbee if you paid me. But we're gonna probably, the 18th hole is a little problematic as far as getting it in, and then we have some other things we have to do to get the signs in and all that. But we'll probably be doing a ribbon cutting shortly and just have a 17-hole course, because it's really nice to get the word out for the public and get them out there using it, all this great weather that's coming in now. The big improvement in Indian Meadows, though, is the paving of all the roadways, adding additional parking for the sports leagues, and that's all we'll be going out to bid, hopefully accepting a bid next month and getting that project done on that. And the new pickleball courts, the second sport that has been growing in a lot of popularity is the pickleball courts, and that's going in Indian Meadows as well. Legacy Park construction is still underway, but really going along nicely. As you know, the signs are in along the path. The paths are done. The house is pretty much ready to go to start providing services to veterans. The walkways, as I mentioned, are done. And the Performance Pavilion, they're telling us, should be done by Memorial Day, which they are really going quite quick on that. So we're very excited to get that up and going, and we'll be keeping you up to date on the event for that, which is actually set for May 18th. We'll be doing a ribbon cutting of sorts on a whole bunch of projects within that park. Business development, our planning department has been very busy with a lot going on across the town. I won't mention the Freeman's Bridge Roads one here because I'm going to talk about that separately, but we've got things going on Airport Road. Midstate Industries is coming to Airport Road. It's a new development which is approved for construction of a almost 5,000 square foot building and a new 12,000 square foot warehouse to store commercial roofing materials, and that's right on Airport Road. Plush Studio is adding a wellness component to their building up on Route 50, right on the north end, almost to the town line. Glenville Cricket is continuing to construct their stadium seating for 1,200 spectators and 2,000 square foot pavilion. So that that development is continuing to happen out there. One I'm most excited about, Murray's Fools Distillery, I talked about it last time, is going to add an event space for paint, sip, and classes, workshops, weddings, parties. And so that is obviously that distillery out on Route 5. It has a cooperage, which I think is kind of cool. Up until recently, we're the only cooperage in the entire state of New York was in Glenville. I thought that was really kind of cool. So now we're the oldest cooperage, active cooperage in the state, which is really cool. And they also have a rick house there, which is quite unique. So that's really coming along nicely. Riverstone Manor has been sold. The new owners are expanding the facilities with a 2,800 square foot addition that will house a new entrance, a vestibule, pre-function gathering areas, a bar, 2 offices, coat room, and storage and bar for the banquet area. So that is continuing to grow as well. Dimension Fabricators is another one in the park. Taco Bell is on Freemansbridge Road. I'll mention them again. Belgioso is also, as part of the Restore New York grant that we received a while ago, going to demolish 2 deteriorating buildings within the park and add a new warehouse and expand business operations. So you can tell a lot's going on, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Freeman's. The sidewalk program that we've been doing in the town obviously has taken shape. We've talked about this before, the All Plus sidewalk, the Van Buren sidewalk, Sacandaga sidewalk, Lake Hill Road sidewalk, and the Freemansbridge Road sidewalks. The Freemansbridge Road sidewalks will be starting this summer, I believe, with so there's actually 4 different programs going on Freemansbridge Road. There's the Scotia, Glenville, Mohawk, Hudson Bike Hike Trail, which we already did along the river. That's complete. We'll be doing a ribbon cutting on that one as well, so stay tuned for the dates on that. The Freemansbridge Road shared use path is the one that's going to run along the west side of Freemansbridge Road from Scotia, Glenville, Mohawk, Hudson Bike Hike Trail near the bridge to Dutch Meadows Lane. And that's supposed to start this fall of this year, 2024. Dutch Meadows is already started to build out their sidewalks to meet that. So that's going to be a connection that's made there. You have the Freemansbridge Road sidewalk, and that construction will begin in the spring of 2025, and that will be along the west side of Freemansbridge Road as well, from the intersection of Freemansbridge Road and Dutch Meadows to Thomas Corners. So that will pick up and go up forward up Freemansbridge Road. Then you have the Freemansbridge Road path and sidewalk, and this is another one on the east side, and this will also tie into the east side, and that would start July of 2025 as well. And then, through it all, Freemansbridge Road resurfacing will take place in the autumn of 2024, so the entire road is going to get resurfaced. So there's a lot going on Freemansbridge Road, and a lot of it has to do with pedestrian-friendly access for folks. But it is also the corridor that has received millions and millions of investments from the state, which tells you something. They believe in it, we believe in it, and we brought in a lot of grant money to redevelop Freemansbridge Road. The Kenco site, as you drive by it, you see they're continuing their work. That is going to be a significant cleanup of contamination on that corridor. And then you look around all the things going on. I mentioned Taco Bell on Freemansbridge Road. We have Toon Skis, a sporting good retailer going into the old Marshall Motorsports at 139 Freemansbridge Road. We have an application for a couple buildings to be taken down, 4-story hotel, mixed-use fast food restaurant, bank, retail office space down next to, on the Lions property next to what was the Lighthouse, Max 410s now. 135 Freemansbridge Road has an application to take down a vacant house and turn it into retail professional office use. And 104 Freeman's, obviously the Sportsplex and ice cream we're hoping opens up soon as the weather gets better. But this has really been a big effort by this board, Tony and the folks in the planning department and all our volunteers. And I'm excited about all that's going to happen on Freemansbridge Road. So I wanted to give an update on that because we haven't talked about all these projects in a while, but they're moving forward. Anyone have any questions for me? Seeing none. Thank you. So Back to the agenda, we have item number 8, a resolution scheduling a public hearing to be held in the town of Glenville on May 15th regarding an amendment to the Sacandaga Road Mixed-Use Plan Development District. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. This amendment to this application is really to adjust the green space that would be allowed on parcel 3 of the PDD, makes other technical corrections, but really it's a minor amendment with green space and some technical corrections. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkham?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 9, determining whether a new Glenville Hill firehouse is in the public's best interest. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, I would just like to remark on this to commend the ladies and gentlemen of the fire department. I actually have visited the fire department with their open house, and I can tell you that they have maximized every inch of space that they have in that department, and this is much needed. I think the residents have clearly spoken. As stated, this went out to referendum and was supported by the residents. I certainly am excited to see this come to fruition, and I think this will help you guys and ladies serve our community very well, meet the needs and demands that are out there as firefighters, and to also the advanced training that's required now by the state. So I think people take this very, very lightly in our community and don't realize or recognize the commitment and dedication of these volunteer firefighters. So anything that we can do that's an enhancement to support them, I'm there.
Mr. Siegel, attorney to the town.
Yeah, I just want to say as part of this determination, the town has to do a seeker review, and there has been a submission of a short environmental assessment form. I've been over it with Tony. Tony spent a lot of time on it. The recommendation is that there is a determination of no significant environmental impact, largely because the area to be disturbed is relatively small. It's under an acre, I believe. The property is connected to public water. There's on-site septic, and there's none of the typical environmental concerns in the area, historic structures or protected species or anything like that. So as part of the resolution, the town, should it pass the resolution, is making a determination that there's no significant environmental impact under seeker.
Thank you.
And I can, my own comment is that, as I recall, it's already land that is, it's not trees, we're not cutting trees down to build it. Kind of a even, use of land. The land use, I agree with 100%.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? I just want to take this opportunity to thank you all for all that you do for our town, and protection of first responders is critically important, and mutual aid that was mentioned earlier. I know you do more than just your district, so we appreciate that very much. And I missed hopefully get a pancake breakfast dinner too before I leave. I don't know when your next pancake breakfast is, but they're really good. So, other than that, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkham?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 10, appointing Patrick Aragosa to the position of bookkeeper. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. As you know, Patrick Aragosa has been working in relation to the acting comptroller since Jason Cuthbert had retired. We hired Josh Kirby. Josh was coming into the role. We appointed him into the role. And so you cannot have two comptrollers, and there's certain just kind of bookkeeping here. We have to move Pat, who's working as a consultant with Josh and myself, into a different role, and that would be bookkeeper, which is the role Jason Cuthbert was in prior to Josh being hired. So just a little rejuggling of these positions, but this is just to make sure we only have one comptroller and one bookkeeper. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
I'm going to abstain. That is irrelevant.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 11, which is appointing members to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Unusual resolution, this and the next, but each are related to the point that the members have not necessarily all signed the oath book, and so we would have to reappoint and give an opportunity for the members to re-sign the oath book. So this is a rare one where we'll be appointing all 7 members, and all would still have 7-year terms, and they would all be placed in the terms that they have. As you can see, one would expire in 2025, 2027, and straight on down through. This also appoints Mike Carr back to chair for the term of 1 year, which actually would expire at the end of this year, and Jenny Littman is vice chair with the same term. Her term would end in 2026, but her vice chair term would end at the end of this year. Any questions or comments?
I'd just like to add that failure to sign the oath book does not nullify any actions that were taken by members of the board.
Correct. This is just a cleanup resolution to make sure we get things in order. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 12, appointing members of the zoning board of appeals. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
I have a second.
Second.
Moved and second. Same explanation on this one. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 13, appointed Tina Woodard to the position of court clerk. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second.
I'll second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Mr. Supervisor, just as stated, this is a much-needed position. Our courts are very busy, and this is just appointing Tina Woodard to the position of town clerk, or town clerk for justice at a salary of $55,000 a year with benefits. Thank you.
I think the title though is court clerk.
Court clerk.
Any
Well,
other-
I'm getting these titles, I mean,
That's right.
last month I appointed Tom. So.
We don't want to appoint another town clerk.
Yeah, exactly. No, Julie does an amazing job, so thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 14, approving the minutes of the regular town board meeting held on April 17th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
And as stated, this is just approving the minutes from the meeting of April 17th, 2024.
Excellent. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa?
Yes.
Councilman Kirkland?
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley?
Yes, resolution passes. On to the last item on the agenda, new business, item 15, and I'll start on my left, Councilman Aragosa. Councilman Kirkland.
None.
Councilman Ramichardt.
Nothing new.
I have nothing either, so with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you. Enjoy the evening. Got you out before the sun went down.